سيدنا محمد.
My name is Paul, and I'm the clinical director of Evolve Brampton, actually right next door to the mosque here. So today I wanted to take the opportunity to speak with you about motivation, stress, and anxiety, and things of that nature. Now, we'll start off with motivation. During this time of the year, especially during the winter months, motivation can be something that's very difficult to find. Now, the trick here and the obstacle is that nobody else can motivate you, right? You have to find your own motivation yourself. Now, this can happen from anything. This could be, your goals could be for losing weight, finding a new career, fixing any kind of imbalances within your life that are going to cause some stress and anxiety, right? So the thing is to first start out with, and the thing is to keep in mind, is that we need to be mentally prepared for the challenge that is actually going to come. So if we're talking about losing weight, we need to be mentally prepared that it's going to take several months of dedication in order to get to your goal weight. Or if it's working on your health and relieving pain from your body, again, it's going to take several months and a lot of work in terms of exercising and stretching in order to relieve that pain. Now, if we're going to talk about work and finding new careers and new challenges within life, again, all of those come with a stepping stone and a time frame. So if we're not mentally prepared for the challenge that is going to come, then a lot of the time we'll start having deterrents that come into the way that are going to demotivate us and are going to make us try to take a step back and give up, right? So it's very easy to quit. It is the easiest thing to do because essentially you just need to stop, right? But it is very difficult to reach your goals, and that's why we need to be mentally prepared in order to reach them and to get to them. Now, some of the deterrents that you may find are stress, anxiety, depression, things of this nature. Now, these can be very difficult deterrents to get across, right? So in order to battle those, there are many different ways in order for us to relieve those stress and to get back on track and to get motivated. Now, in saying that, just keep in mind that everybody is going to vary and kind of veer off the line here and there, right? So if you, for example, are trying to lose weight and you gain a couple pounds or have a bad meal or something like that, it's okay. But the point is that we want to come back to the main goal, and we want to make sure that we're following the steps and the guidelines that we're doing. So how can we do this? One of the easiest, simple ways to do, and what I always recommend to my patients, is to make checklists. Now, checklists are very, very important, and they're very simple. You can make checklists for a month, for a week, or even for a day. Now, personally, I make my checklist for a day. So in the morning, I'll know exactly what tasks that I need to complete. Now, whether it's, you know, if again we're talking about finding a new career, for example, now you're going to want to apply for a certain amount of jobs every day. You're going to want to follow up with those jobs and things of that nature. So those are your checklists to make sure that you are following all the right things in order for you to reach your goal, right? And in weight loss, it's the same thing. Are you following your caloric intake? Are you exercising and stretching and doing things of that nature? When we do have those things in check and we do have a guideline that helps us follow a certain routine, then we are able to achieve them much easier. Now, another thing that we don't want to be doing is that we don't want to be taking on too much. So we all only have a certain amount of hours in the day that are free, right? We'll be working, or if we're parents and we have children and things like that, there's only so much free time that you have. So if you're trying to pack in 10 hours of work in a 4-hour gap, it's just going to be impossible. And that's going to make you feel very overwhelmed, and you're just not going to be able to decipher and actually break down all of these different challenges. So take what we call bite-sized challenges. Very small challenges that you know that you can achieve within a timely manner, and then you just keep working away at them, right? Life is a very long game. It's a long span, right? You don't have to achieve all of your goals in a week or in a month. You have many years in order to achieve your goals. So just keep that in mind, right? Don't try to finish everything all at once. Now, depression and anxiety and stress, like these are very difficult things to overcome. At times it can happen to us for several weeks at a time. So for these kind of things, in order to bring them down, there are different techniques that we can do, right? One of them is a breathing technique. We want to make sure we're taking nice deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. You want to really fill up your lungs as much as you can. Now, what this will do is that will tap into your sympathetic nervous system, and it's going to actually calm your nerves down. It's going to calm your heart rate down and things like that. So you're not going to feel the anxiety and the sense of stress. Another thing that we can do is actually is we're going to flex our muscles, right? So if you're just sitting there and you just hold your body as tight as you can and flex your entire body and then just relax and do that a few times in a row, what you'll notice is that that actually gives your muscles relief. So you'll get rid of that muscle tension in the shoulders and to the neck that again will cause a little bit more stress and anxiety. So relieving these symptoms physically will help us in our mental state as well. So one of the biggest things that we do when we're dealing with stress and anxiety is that we tend to dwell on the past. Now, dwelling on the past means that, like, let's say you've made a mistake a couple weeks ago, you'll constantly relive that in your mind and constantly bring it up again. We really need to learn to let go of the past. Now, the past is the past, mistakes have been made, but the important thing is that you're working towards goals and you're working towards motivating yourself and progressing your life. So this is what your focus needs to be on. Now, in order to do that, what we really need to do is change our habits. Now, that means that, for example, again, if we're talking about losing weight and getting our body healthy, if you know that you need to get up a little bit early to find that time to go to the gym, to do your exercises, then we need to change our habits in order to do so. Now, if it's a career thing or a family-oriented thing, we need to change our habits in order to find that as well. So, for example, if somebody at home is finding it a little bit overwhelming of taking on too many tasks, perhaps the other people in the family can take on some of those easier tasks to relieve the stress from others. And if it's, again, career, we need to find jobs that will satisfy us in order to keep us motivated in our jobs itself. Now, a lot of people with careers, they'll just pick any job because it's a paycheck. Now, just remember that throughout your entire life, you're going to spend a lot of money, you're going to make a lot of money, millions of dollars, in fact, right? So don't dwell so much on having to find that financial benefit right now, right? You can still find a better job that may not pay you as much, but you'll be so much happier being there. That, again, will help you to motivate you in order to climb the ladder, to maybe get into corporate and do other things, and that will further your career down the line and give you more money and things like that, right? So we want to make sure that we're always changing our habits, we're always doing the things in order to help us with our careers, to help us with our lives, our health, everything like that. So that's basically my little 2 cents on motivation, stress, and anxiety. Now, there is a lot more to talk about and a lot more to get into, but everything really has to do with the person-to-person basis, and this is why we really want to make sure we make checklists and a guideline and a plan in order to reach your goals. And again, it's something that needs to be sustainable and something that needs to be realistic, right? So, you know, for a lot of us, becoming an astronaut may not be the most realistic goal, but it is an aspiration to work towards. But perhaps like being an engineer or something like that is something that's very attainable and it can follow along the same line. So we need to just make sure that we are realistic with our goals and what our passions are and what we do well. Now, a lot of really famous motivational speakers, they'll always say to don't try to be something that you're not already, right? So everybody has an already set varied skills, right? So you could be very good at speaking with people. You could be very good at health. You could be very good at engineering and mathematics and things like that. You should really favor your aspirations and the things that you're already good at, right? Because if you're already good at math, then why try to be great at something that you're not already great at? You're already great at math, so continue down the math field, and then you can do a lot of great things in there. And that goes with any kind of skill whatsoever. Don't think that just because you're, for example, a very good cleaner, that you can't open up a cleaning business and then be very successful at doing that. But if you're very good at cleaning and not so great at math and you really try to be a mathematician, that's not going to favor you and it's not going to aid you in life as well, right? So we do want to be realistic. If you guys have any other questions or concerns, you're free to give me a call at any time. My number is listed on the screen at 905-457-5575. So we are Evolve Brampton here at 30 Rambler Drive in Brampton. So if anybody has any questions or concerns, please give me a call or you can send us an email at info@evolvebrampton.com and I'll be sure to return your calls or your messages. Thank you.